Welcome to the 12th Man podcast, opinionated debate on everything Borough. Let's have it.
Mark Schwartz is in. Get in the penalty. Brenwell Boston has a finisher. Kicker. Like a stick to the and home for Italian.
Right, here we go again. 12-man podcast time. Live and uninterrupted. Here we go. Yeah, how are we doing? You all right?
Spot on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. We got me, C. Jackson. I'm in the main chair as usual. Talk all things Borough. Mr. Cutler's with me here in Cut.
Good evening, guys.
And we've only got one on Zoom tonight. Quite quiet tonight. Mr. Steve Dixon's with us. Evening, Dicko.
Evening, fellas. Everyone okay?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good.
Good.
Yeah, live and uninterrupted for the next 60 minutes of your life. Get involved. Could be fun, this one. Usually I'd start with obviously the previous game, wouldn't I? But I'm going to start with some transfer news first. Because obviously before that game, there was transfer news, wasn't there?
There was indeed.
We had not one, but two new signings. To introduce us to the first one, I'll let you pick whichever one you want, and I'll go for the other one.
Oh, laddie, a laugh. Came in.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about him a little bit on the pod last week. Dicko promised he'd sign the next day. He was close. He was only 2 days out, but he said he would be, and he was correct.
Yeah, he is. He's through the door. 16 goals last season for, was it St. Gallen?
Yeah.
There you go. Dicko, what's your thoughts on the new man?
Good. What I'd seen of him, I was quite impressed. I thought he would make a bit of an impact, and I thought he did. I thought he was a real bright spark on Saturday. Looked a real handful, a real menace, a threat, pace. Buzzed about, worked hard, put his foot in. I mean, let's be honest, if he had scored, it would have been a real dream debut. I thought he played really, really well. Very, very promising indeed.
It was really promising. It was, obviously, we'll go into a bit more about his debut in a little bit, but given the number 9 shirt, a lot of fans went absolutely doolally about that. What did you think, Cut?
Well, I think some fans like to whinge for the sake of whinging. Who cares? I couldn't care if he was 199. As long as he's in this football club and I want him to score goals, I don't care what number he's got on.
Well, that's it. Like someone said to me when he got announced and I was at work, obviously the numbers came out. Was it like a day later or something like that? Oh, he's got the number 9. Does that mean we're not getting numbers number 9? No. It just means he wants number 9. You know what I mean?
I think it's brilliant. I think it shows that he's a confident fella and he wants the number 9 shirt. He's confident to be in Middlesbrough's talisman this season, banging in the goals. Give me the number 9 shirt. I'm good enough to have the number 9 shirt. I don't feel pressure. Give us the shirt. What's wrong with that? Superb.
Well, it shows as well.
We'll bring another striker in. He gets another shirt. That's latte a lots now.
Well, it shows as well that the club are confident he can be a number 9 because we signed a centre forward last season who wanted the number 9. The club wouldn't give him it, if you remember. Mr. Hoppy. And
yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like I say, I don't care what number they wear. I like me centre forward in number 9 if he's going to be our main centre forward.
And all I'm going to say is whoever decided not to give Hoppy the number 9, it's an absolute godsend. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's yeah. Enough said on the boy the better. Good luck to him in America. Is he in America?
I couldn't
tell you. Yeah. Is he the Galaxy? Is the Galaxy you went to? No. He's in America. He's definitely in America.
Can't consider a team that good. No.
No, he's not.
That sounds quite harsh as well. But I don't want to be harsh on the boy. But yeah, it's. And then obviously I said I'll talk about the other one. Other signing, Lucas. Is it Lucas or Luca?
Lucas
Engel.
Lucas Engel. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Dally's popped on Facebook. Evening, Dally. Number 9 was given to Muniz last year. Of course it was. And yeah, look what happened to that. So yeah. certain always mean nothing, people. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, new left back on the door. Apparently, his stats were as high as Giles last year. Sounds promising, doesn't it?
It sounds promising, but we'll go into the game a little bit later. I think him and Giles are completely different left backs. I'm not expecting the same kind of player that Gilo was for us last year, but like I say, we'll go in later. I thought it was a half decent debut, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, like you said, we'll go into his debut in a little bit. But Diego, what was your thoughts on the new left back? Was it about time we signed one of them?
We've been desperate for a new left back. It's been a huge problem all pre-season and into the season. And what I liked about Lucas Engel on Saturday was he seemed a more rounded, solid fullback. Yeah, he defended quite well. He won his headers. He didn't get forward. I know what John Cutler's on about. He didn't get forward like Ryan Giles did. However, he was the two most dangerous players in Huddersfield's team, or the two wide players, and Josh Karoma and Sorba Thomas, whichever way you pronounce it. And they play high up the pitch and they try to get at you. And that's the way Huddersfield play. And I think Middlesbrough had to be wary of that on Saturday. So I think as the games progress, you might see Lucas Engel getting forward a bit more and getting more crosses in the box. But on Saturday, I think his job was to keep an eye on Sorba Thomas and stop him getting in behind and getting crosses into the box for Huddersfield. And I thought overall he'd done fairly well. I thought he was fairly solid.
Yeah. Stop spoiling this game. we'll talk about the game in a little bit, but no, yeah, spoiler, he's all right on Saturday. But yeah, I thought it would start a bit different. Two new signings through the door. It's something we screamed about last week, wasn't it? You know, it was. Yeah, we were desperate for people coming through the door, especially after that demoralising defeat at Coventry as well.
I mean, we'll talk about this after the game, but we've done a bit of homework on players that we've been linked with this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, after we've discussed the game, we'll go into that a little bit. Hopefully,
we will. Yes, we've got a little list in front of us. So yeah, we'll talk through them players. Some are good, some are interesting. I'll say interesting.
We'll divide opinion.
Yes, he will. He definitely will divide opinion. Put it that way. But right, Huddersfield. So, you know, what was it? 11 days ago we played them. Obviously, 2:00 game. Team came, cut 5 changes.
Mm-hmm.
Happy, unhappy? What did you think of them 5 changes?
Delighted to see Howson back. Force, I wanted back. I still can't understand how Riley McGree doesn't get into this football team. Whether he's
Do you think there's a problem there?
Whether he's carrying a bit of a knock or whatever, or whether there's interest in him and his agent's getting into his head, I don't know. Obviously, this is all just speculation, but I can't for the life of me understand how he's not in that starting 11.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd pose the question: is there a problem? Because there's something not quite right, is there? Like for me, I mean, people on Facebook or whatever, people that listen to this could disagree with me. I think he's the best footballer at the club. I really do. I think he's brilliant. And I haven't seen Dicko shake his head yet, so he must agree. Yeah, I think he's brilliant. And for him to miss out in that role behind the striker, I think he could probably do that role a bit better than what we've got on the pitch. Or am I just talking up my backside?
No, I think even in the 3 in midfield last year when we played our best football, it was Howson, Hackney, and Riley McGree. Like I say, I don't know why. We can sit here and speculate all we want, but there's obviously something.
Yeah, definitely. And Vandenberg at right back as well.
Well, me and Dicko had a pint after the game. We talked about this, and I'm not sure. A couple of times he let the winger past and to get balls in the box.
Do you think you could tell he was left-footed?
I don't know. Obviously, I'm not going to judge him on one game. But on that one game, I would say he's probably more a centre half than he is a fullback, and I think that's probably where the club see him in the future. It's just we're so short of options at right back at the moment. Paddy's been out of form at the start of the season, and I was happy that Vandenberg started. I don't think he had a bad game. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not sure he's a long-term solution for our number 2 position.
No, I'm with you on that. I completely agree. I think the problem with Paddy, I mean, don't quote me on this, I don't know, but I think it was it concussion protocol after obviously his whack on the head at Coventry. So it possibly maybe the reason why he's had to give this week a miss. He was in Ireland, wasn't he, at the weekend with was it Ballyclay he was at?
I didn't give out a small bottle of wine for man the matches and that.
Yes.
So.
He did. It was very good doing so as well. But Diggo, 5 changes. What did you make of the 5 changes?
I was fairly happy with the side, and the only one of contention was obviously the absence of Riley McGree, who I totally agree with John Cutler should be in the starting lineup. He's one of our best players. He was one of our best players last season. And I find it strange that the problem this season is we're lacking a lot of quality from last season with the players that have left. But he's one of the ones that are still here. So why is he not in the starting 11? He's one of our best players from last season that we've still got at the football club, and we should be using him as often as we can. So that was the only strange one for me. I look at Silvera, and although I like him and he's a talented player and he's quick and he's got skills and he's going to hurt teams, to me, early days, he looks more of an impact player, somebody that can change a game, come on, have an influence, nick a goal, create a goal. I would like to see Middlesbrough starting with Riley McGree moving forward, and Sammy Silvera just having that little bit more time to settle down and settle into the side and maybe start coming off the bench as an impact player. Interesting what you're on saying about Vandenberg. I thought he'd done okay. I thought he had a reasonable debut, but I'm telling you now, he's not a fullback. He never will be a fullback. He's a centre back, or he's a left-sided centre back in a 3, but he's not a fullback. He's not quick enough, and the problem what Middlesbrough have got playing him at fullback is we really lack pace in the centre of defence with Dale Fry, who I really rate highly, and Darragh Lenihan, who I really rate highly. They lack pace. If they've got any shortcomings within the game, it's pace. So to stick a third defender alongside them in a back 4, like Rav Vandenberg, who's lacking pace, I think it's asking for trouble moving forward. And I hope Carrick's sort of seeing that and maybe he's adjusts things moving forward with either a new right back coming in, or I'd rather have Paddy McNair come back in, to be honest with you, at right back to Vandenberg, because I think he offers a little bit more in the full back position. The goal on Saturday come from that. The Huddersfield player was doing Vandenberg for pace, and he just got back. Credit to him. He got back and he knocked the ball out for a corner. And that's where Huddersfield scored, from the corner. So, as I say, this isn't having to go Rav Vandenberg. I'm sure he's going to be a tremendous player moving forward. He's only 19 years of age. It was a big game to come in for. And he made some big tackles and good tackles, but he's not a fullback.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't say fairer than that, but I mean, we'll talk about the goal in a little bit. I've got an opinion on the goal, but yeah, I could be right, I could be wrong. I've got an opinion on Silvera as well. I'll talk about that a bit there as well. Can
I just say we've got a message off Twitter from Borough Boy 63, who just because we're talking about it at the moment, who's asked what's going on with McGree. Why isn't Michael Carrick playing him? Are the rumours that he wants to go to an unnamed Spanish club true? So the fans are starting to question why McGree's not in the team and coming up with different reasons why he's not. But me personally, I think it was just purely tactical. I think Carrick fancied Rodgers in the hole behind in his natural position and Silvera on one side, and I think it was just the choice. I think that was Michael Carrick's choice, but I think you might see an alteration at West Brom, because I think Riley McGree has to be in that 11.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I really can't. And for what's he called, Borough Boy 63. Simple answer, mate. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea why Carrick's not picking him. maybe he's nicked his last sweep. I don't know.
I've got a few messages on Facebook, and they all seem to be agreeing with us that they can't understand why Riley's not in the team. Jason's put Vandenberg as fourth choice right back. We are missing Tommy Smith, who is undoubtedly our number one choice right back.
Absolutely.
So it says Dicko. Dyke, Steele and McNair. Carrick did the best with what he had, which is correct. You know, Jason, you're correct. Obviously, I added a little bit about Tommy Smith just to want Dicko, but, you know, yeah, I agree with you, to be fair. We were very short on options for right back. And
we were massively short, weren't we?
Like I said earlier, I don't think he was particularly poor. I'm just not sure he's going to be a right back.
Yeah, I don't think he's a right back. I think he's literally just been put there because we had nothing. We literally had nothing. Like, there was no other options. There was no other choice. It was, I mean, maybe Isaiah Jones, but I don't think Jones has got the discipline anymore to be a right back. I think he's more forward thinking, which is not a criticism. It's not a bad thing. It's just I think he's now become a right winger.
One thing about Jones, he gets a lot of criticism about his final ball, but his final ball in the last minute on Saturday was absolutely bob on.
Oh, I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about one of
where it's due.
We'll talk about one of the crosses he put in and how it was not finished. You know, it's exactly which one we're going to talk about. But yeah. So first half, it started a bit slow, but we got into it really quickly. I'd say around about the halfway through the first half mark, because we got Latte Lath on the ball. Rodgers and Latte Lath, I thought, linked really well. And before you knew it, Latte Lath was showing his bit of quality, wasn't he? The drop of the shoulder, the tech on the inside, running on the outside. There's something about that boy.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with him. He seems to have a decent burst of pace. He holds the ball up really well, lays it off, brings other players into play. I mean, I know we're getting a bit excited. It was only his debut, but like Diggo said earlier, if he'd have managed to bury that chance in the second half, it would have been the perfect debut for me, because I thought he was excellent, to be fair. Yeah,
I did as well. I thought the front four were okay. First half, I thought the movement between the four of them was quite good. I say even Force. I'm still not sure as Force as a right winger. I still think he wants to be in that centre role. He's dying to get in the centre. You can just tell. But what did you make of the first half? Go. You say it was everything but an opening goal for me.
Yeah, I thought Middlesbrough were the better side first half, without a doubt. We had a good spell for about 20 minutes where we're passing the ball around like we used like last season, with a good pace and a good tempo. We're unlucky not to go 1-0 up, really. We had a few chances. Silvera had a great effort, just whipped from the edge of the box with his right peg just past the post.
Oh, I thought that was it. I really did.
I thought it was in. The goalkeeper made a couple of decent saves. You know, we still looked a little bit vulnerable at the back on the counter-attack. Huddersfield had a couple of half chances, but I thought Middlesbrough were a little bit unlucky not to go in front at half time, and I was expecting us to go and get the job done second half. As I say, I agree with you that the front four in the first half were a threat. Latte Lath worked so hard. I hope it wasn't debut adrenaline. I hope that's the way he plays. I hope that's his game. Running the channels, holding the ball up, spinning, getting in the box. I think he's got real potential. I know he missed the chance, like Kut says, second half, but let's give him a chance. It wasn't. He took an extra touch, didn't he? Give the keeper a chance to come out and block it. But other than that, I thought it was a really, really good debut. And in fact, I thought there was a mistake by Carrick to take him off, because I think one of those late chances he might have just buried it. I thought they should have left him on.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to the second half now. I mean, Dallas just played absolutely perfect there for me. Second half, we got Warnocked, because we did. He went man for man for the first 20 minutes until we got the equaliser and just slowed the game down. And I mean, we'll talk about the goal. Obviously, you've mentioned already there, Dicko, about Vandenberg getting caught out and obviously the corner coming in. That corner was so poorly defended. When have we started doing zonal marking? When's that coming? Because that all of a sudden looked very apparent, and there was no communication between the keeper and Fry, because Fry just flung his leg at it. For me, I mean, Dicko, you could correct me. For me, front post should be keepers. That's keepers' territory for me, and you should command that. And he had no command of that. It just looked a really, really bad goal when you watch it back.
Not for me. Sorry, I'm not having the goalkeeper's mistake for that.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's. Whoa. I'm not saying it's the goalkeeper's mistake at all. I just thought the whole defensive, the way we defended that corner was just so bad, so bad in front of him.
I think what Dunwich on Saturday was, I think he mishit the corner. I'm guarantee you that corner was supposed to be swung into the box with a bit of height on. I think he mishit it. It went lower than they thought he was going to do it. That's caught Middlesbrough out at the near post. It went through the first Middlesbrough player. Dale Fry didn't have a lot of time to adjust or see the ball coming. It struck him on the calf, went in the near post. I have to agree with you. I don't like zonal marking. I never have. For me, I'm a bit of a dinosaur that way when it comes to defending, goalkeeping. To me, as a goalkeeper, I would like to have people on me posts, on the line, on corners. I like to go man for man. I always think, you mark size for size. That's another thing that seems to have crept into football now. You just pick your nearest man up. So sometimes, like watching the West Ham game yesterday, you had, West Ham scored a header at the back post, being marked by Gallagher, who's a small player. Centre half just out muscles him, heads it in the back of the net. To me, I don't know why these days we do this in football, but for me, size, you match them up, don't you? Big man goes with big man, small man goes with small man. You mark your posts. You don't concede cheap goals. And on Saturday for Middlesbrough, it was a cheap goal. It was a cheap goal. And I don't know what it is. It's inbred in Middlesbrough for years that will start second half slowly. I don't know why. It's gone back for years. Middlesbrough tend to start on the front foot, get into the game first half. Then we seem to have this spell quite often over the years, and when we kick off the second half where it's quiet, the way teams seem to get into the game and get a hold of it a little bit, until we seem to come back into the game second half. But we just started the second half poorly. It was slow. There was no tempo. It was quiet. We give away an early corner, and typical Borough, as we say, in it goes. And then you're thinking, we've been the better side. We're 1-0 down. Have we got 2 goals in to come back now and win the game? Give ourselves another mountain to climb. In Championship football, when you concede the first goal, it's a big one. It's always really important when you score the first goal, especially at home. And that's been a bit of a Middlesbrough's Achilles heel for a while now. I think is it 1 win in 9, including last season, won in the cup against Huddersfield, 1 win in 9. We haven't scored many goals. We haven't scored the first goal very often. And I think that's, I know it's hard to say it's a habit of this team, because last year's team and this year's team have got different personnel in, but the same traits that cost at the back end of last season, for me, are still there this season. So we need to have a look at that. Well, the coaching staff certainly need to have a look at that.
Well, Davey Walker says overall we could have won that game 4 or 5-1 if some of those chances went in. Massive improvement from Coventry. Tough game at West Brom next, but we must take our chances.
Absolutely right.
Fair enough, that.
Yeah, there's nothing more you can put to that. That's
It's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, after the goal, there was that 10 minutes after the goal. We never got going, did we? In that second half, we never got going for a long period. And then, talk to me about Hayden's goal.
Well, it's a fantastic bit of skill when it cut inside of his right foot and smashed right in the top corner. He could have had 2 goalkeepers in there, including Dicko, and you wouldn't have got nowhere near that. You could have put the world's tallest man, which by the looks of it was on their bench, by the way. He was massive, that striker. It was some finish from Hayden.
Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable.
And I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, I thought Hayden was really good. I thought you could tell Howson was back in the team.
Oh, Howson's just a Rolls Royce for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give away my man the match, but he was my man the match.
You could just tell he was back in the team, because everybody around him just used a bit more confidence.
He's absolute different class.
I love him, mate.
I said to actually Dicko and his father, who was 79, by the way, on Saturday and doesn't look a day over 21. He just gets, we could do with a shouter on that pitch for me. Howson leads by example, and he's absolutely amazing every week. But other than Leonard, we need someone who can grab him by the scruff of the neck and say, yeah, you know, a leader on the pitch. It's all right listening to the manager on the sideline. Someone, I don't know, Grant, Tony Mowbray from years gone by. We need someone who, when things aren't going right, like that 10 minutes after they scored the first goal, then get them together and say, yeah, lads, I mean, get this sorted, or we're going to be 2-0 down, the game's going to be gone.
You mentioned there one name, and he sat on our bench in the moment, Grant. I mean, if there was a problem, he got you together and said, right, sort it now. And I feel, yeah, I'm with you. We don't have that at the moment.
Don't.
But, yeah. Digger, what do you think of Hayden's goal Saturday?
Fantastic goal. And I tell you what, I think they'll be going to beat it this season. It was that good, in my opinion. It was really, really a top quality goal, which it was certainly probably up there with the goal of the day with Aaron Ramsey, who scored a belter for Cardiff. And it'll take some beating. I mean, it was sheer quality. They had a chance just before that to score. The keeper took a deflection to come up the keeper's leg, went back out, recycled the ball, got it back to Hackney. Great switch of play onto his right peg. Wallop, top corner, absolutely top-class goal from a top-class player. He had a good game, Hayden Hackney, on Saturday. Really good game, back to his best. There's been a few people, as we've heard on here, saying maybe he should be taken out of the team. Not a chance. Middlesbrough will be a far weaker team without Hayden Hackney in it, I tell you. He was absolutely I thought he was outstanding on Saturday. And he had an easier chance first half, actually, to score.
Yeah, he did.
He should have lifted it over the goalkeeper. But he was all over the park, Hayden Hackney. And I agree with John Cutler. I think having Howson alongside him helps massively. I think he talks to him during the game, he coaches him during the game, and just keeps him right. And I think they're an outstanding duo in that midfield, and it's up to the Barlassers and the other players, Crooks and stuff like that. You know, they need to raise their game to get them out of the team. I mean, they should be embarrassed. They've got Johnny Howson, a 35-year-old, going on 36, and they can't get in the team for him.
Nice.
I mean, I'll be embarrassed. I'll be thinking, this guy, yet again, is keeping me on the bench. He's outstanding. And every time I get a chance to get in the team, I'm nowhere near as good as this fella. What's his secret? What does he do? They should be watching and learning from Johnny Howson. He's an outstanding professional.
I'm gonna read that out. Peter Salt's calling in touch. Hayden Hackney was not outstanding on Saturday. He has not had a good game for me yet. I need him to come back. I need him to come back to me on that one.
I tell you what.
Oh, this season, right? Come back to me on that.
If you thought Hayden Hackney didn't have a good game on Saturday, you want to take up cricket, because he was outstanding on Saturday. Really good.
I'll take a bit more of a diplomatic view than you, Dicko. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, Peter, but I definitely disagree with you on that, pal.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'm sorry, Pete, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong on this one. I'm sorry, mate. But come back to us, you know, give us a bit more info on what you mean, what you've seen that we perhaps haven't, you know.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think Hackney, he hasn't played well this season, but I thought he was miles better than he has been on Saturday. I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah, I thought he was superb Saturday. I thought him and Howson, once they got control of midfield, that was it. They weren't getting anywhere near us, and they didn't. As soon as we got that equaliser, but.
Well, we've got our apologies for John not being here, John Donovan.
He's currently auditioning for his stint in Benidorm next summer.
But
John Don.
He sent us his thoughts on the game. We should have won easily on Saturday, but squandered lots of clear-cut chances. The main point is that we are creating the chances. Some great build-up play at times. We still need more options, and I hope to see 3 or 4 more in before the window shuts. Happy with the debutants and think they will only improve. Silveira needs to stay in control and take his chances. A screamer is a screamer. A tap-in is a tap-in. They're both goals at the end of the day. Promising on Saturday, but only 1 point. My man of the match was Engels. Solid start to his Borough career. Looking forward to West Bromwich Albion.
There you go. And if you didn't quite know, A screamer is a screamer, and a tapping is a tapping.
Tap in, yeah.
There you go. If you didn't learn anything from us, you did today. There you go. Dally says thinks Peter is a wicket keeper. There you go. But go on.
Just going back to Hayden Hackney on Saturday, passing accuracy 91%. That's not too bad, is it?
I mean, yeah.
Like I say, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Keep them coming in. We'll read them out whether we agree with them or not.
Absolutely. I've got a message off Twitter again from Stuart Wallace.
Oh yes.
Stuart Wallace has come in saying, on the basis that only Smith or Dijksteel to return at right back, is this squad good enough for a playoff challenge? Well, that's that to John.
It was good enough last year.
Yeah, but it's a different squad this year, isn't it?
Well, if we're judging it by right today, I don't know. I keep saying in 3 weeks' time. Well, how long have we got left now? A week? 10 days.
What's the date?
About 10 days left of this transfer window.
12 days, I think it's 2nd of September.
I'll put my neck on the line here and say I'll be surprised if we don't bring 5 more players in, including loans. 5 players I'll go for.
Wow. Okay. Is our squad good enough for playoffs right now?
I said yes at the start of the season, so I'm going to say yes. Stuart's
asking if the squad stays the same and we add Smith and Dijksteel back into it, is that squad good enough for the playoffs?
Yeah.
I still think it is. We said we needed a centre forward. We've brought one in. We said we needed a left back. We've brought one in. I think Smith and Dijksteel are both good enough to have a squad for that are capable of getting the playoffs. Obviously, we're going to need to be very lucky with injuries, but I'm going to still say yes. We have a lot of potential in this squad. You mentioned Silvera earlier. You think he's an impact player. Now, for me, he's not played at this level before. I think he's just snatching at his chances. I thought he looked lively again. Me on Saturday, he looked dangerous, good taking people on. It's just the more games he plays, the more experience he'll get of whether to shoot or whether to lay the ball off. Yeah, I'm still quite impressed by Silvera. He was exciting me every time he was on the ball, to be honest.
We're going to agree to disagree on that.
Again, it's all about opinions. I'm correct, you're wrong.
No. But yeah, I just think obviously someone is going to pop up and say we're still missing a striker from that squad that we've got now. I think people are still forgetting about Josh Colburn. Honestly, I really do rate the lad that highly. I really do. The boy's a goal scorer. You know what I mean? He's a goal scorer.
Should I give you my opinion on the squad?
Go on.
Just because obviously you two think it's good enough for the playoffs. I'm going to say if the squad doesn't improve before the window shuts, there's not a cat in hell's chance that squad will make the championship playoffs.
I hope you don't want a cat then.
I don't think it's good enough. I think it's a squad in transition. It's a squad of young players who were brought in to make better, to progress maybe over the next couple of years. But actual quality now, looking at that squad, I haven't changed from my opinion from the first day of the season when I said we're 8th, 9th or 10th. There's nothing I've seen up till now that will change my mind. Even with signing Lati Alaf and Lucas Engel, who I think are massively needed, by the way. And I was happy with both of them on Saturday. I haven't seen anything to change my mind that we're 8th, 9th, 10th this season. And the main stat is, and I had to look at this today because I thought John Donovan was going to be on, and I know John's obviously thinks Middlesbrough are going to progress and get the playoffs and do this, that and the other. And I knew you guys are really positive, and I hate not being positive about Middlesbrough, but I feel like I've got to be honest, especially to the people that are listening to the podcast. And the main stat was last season, if you look at Chuba Akpom, Cameron Archer, Aaron Ramsey, Ryan Giles, that's 47 goals and 23 assists in the championship only. And you've replaced them with Lati Alaf, Silvera, Rodgers, and Gilbert, Alex Gilbert from Brentford. And if you put their stats together from last season at their clubs, they've got 25 goals and 8 assists. But amongst that, 16's Latte Laths and 3 assists are Latte Laths, 16 goals, 3 assists. Silvera, 8 goals, 4 assists in what I would class a poor league in Australia. Morgan Rodgers, 1 goal, 1 assist in 20-odd games for Blackpool. Alex Gilbert didn't play at all for Brentford, 0 games. He played for the B team, but not the A team. Now, that's not, by the way, that's not an attack on those 4 players. All of them 4 players are good players with loads of potential, and I'm all for it, and I'm back them to the hilt, and they will get better in a Middlesbrough shirt, I'm sure, under Michael Carrick. However, if you're expecting those 4 players to come into English football, into it, and progress to the levels of Akpom, Archer, Ramsey, and Giles last season, of 47 goals and 23 assists, there's absolutely no chance that's happening. I'm still clinging to the hope that before this window shuts, Middlesbrough add another couple of quality loans or a couple of quality signings just to get to that level. Because like I say, in my opinion, we're 8, 9, 10 at the moment. And that's probably being kind, to be honest. But if we can get a couple of more players in of real quality, it could just boost towards those playoff spots. It's a really, really difficult league this season, with lots of big clubs, big teams, big fan bases, tough away games to go to. And we've got a real young side lacking in experience at this level. And it's a huge ask for them to expect them to raise their levels to the levels of the players that have left. So for me, I'm still left a little bit disappointed with Middlesbrough's recruitment this year. Like I said, from day one, we needed to have more first-team players in early to get a good start. And as it stands now, we're going to West Brom on Saturday with a real tricky fixture to get anything from. If we lose to West Brom, we're on 1 point from a possible 12. So it's I understand the difficulties in the transfer market, this, that, and the other, but it's a process and a habit I wish Middlesbrough would come away from.
Jason's pointed this right out for me, and he's the total goals you picked out there. Obviously, the players we've lost. Take away Tuber's goals. How many have we got?
Well, you've got Archer had 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ramsey had, was it 8 or 9?
I don't think he had that many, did he?
I think so, yeah.
2 or 3, wasn't it?
No.
Assists-wise, he did well assists as well.
But for me,
I will tell you. I will find it.
I think what us fans have fixated on is Tuber is that level of striker every year, and he's not. 29 goals from Tuber last year was a freak. It was an absolute freak. He's never done it, ever.
Ramsey got 8 goals. Aaron Ramsey last year, 8 goals.
So 19.
Cameron Archer got 11.
So
Tuber Akpom 28.
But Tech 29, wasn't it?
No, one was the cup, wasn't it?
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, still take them 28. Still 9 goals, isn't it? You know what I mean? That I just think we've got too fixated on that big number of Tubers. And fair play to the boy. It was an unbelievable season. It was just no guarantees that we was ever going to repeat it again. But but they're big numbers they're big numbers. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying we need to find another player that's going to score 28 goals, but we need to find 2 or 3 players that are going to find 28 goals between them to make up for Akpom's goals. And at the minute, I don't think in our squad we've got the players or the quality to make those stats up. And don't forget, despite the 47 goals from them players and 23 assists, we still didn't go up. We just, got in the playoffs and got beaten in the playoffs. We ran out of steam. Let's face it. We ran out of steam last year.
I said I expect this football club to bring in about 5 players.
Mm-hmm.
How many players do you two think we will bring in before the window ends?
Is this including loans?
Including loans.
4.
4 for you. What about you, Dicko? Not what you want. How many do you think?
2. Maybe he's 2.
Are they both permanent or loans?
Well, that's just pure guesswork, isn't it? I would expect. I don't care if they're permanent or loans. I just hope.
Yeah.
I think if we can get 2 players of real quality, and I mean real quality, into this club before the window shuts, I'll be on your bus if we can make the playoffs. But at the minute, I think we just fall short. Looking at the squad, the shortcomings, the amount of young players we've got that haven't played in this league, we've got to learn, get used to the league, step up. It's a huge ask for me. And yeah, there is potential there. You know, on Saturday, I was happy with some of we're playing, we're passing quick and slick. But at the end of the day, if you can't keep them out at one end and you can't put them away at the other end, you're not winning football matches. And that was against a Huddersfield team, let's not forget, who aren't one of the big teams in the league. They won't be anywhere near the top half this season, and we still couldn't put them to bed. So for me, it's we need 2 big signings. I would love to have 3 or 4, like Cuts is saying, 3 or 4 big signings, by the way. But if we can get 2 of real quality, we might just have a chance of pushing for the playoffs.
Well, it's funny you mentioned about the defensive side of the game there, because Tony Johnston has mentioned in his book. It's one thing about needing more firepower. The priority for me is the defence. The desperate need to keep more clean sheets as a basis to start winning games.
Yeah,
and
great
partially, I've got to agree with that. To be honest, it's easy enough us saying if we don't score, we won't win games. But also, if we don't keep clean sheets, we're not going to win games either.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, what was it? It was the old Italian saying, wasn't it? Why score 2 when 1 will do? Italians always won 1-0. It's something about Serie A. If you look through Serie A games, God, at least 100, at least a 1-0, because they're not defending.
It's a brilliant point. Who said that? Sorry, on
that was Tony Johnston.
Tony Johnston. That's an absolutely brilliant point, because when we go away from home at the moment, we know we're going to create a few chances, but you're never confident we're going to keep a clean sheet. We do need to tighten up at the back. We've got huge problems still, for me, as I say, with pace in the back 4. We're massively missing a right back at the moment. I wish we could get Dijksteel fit or Tommy Smith, don't get us wrong, for a bit more balance, a bit more, a bit more pace on the right-hand side to take away a bit of the pressure. And, I just think teams at the minute, like I said, against Millwall, if you listen to the podcast a few weeks ago, like I said, against Coventry, I think teams are looking at and targeted and thinking, we can get at these. They're a soft touch at the back. We can get in behind them. We can give the fullbacks problems. And if we don't take our chances, we're fair game. And we've been light up front till Latia Lath's come in. So teams are fancying to bully a Morgan Rogers or a Sammy Silvera. Can we bully them, keep them out of the game, and nick them on the break, get in behind the fullbacks? We'll look fair game at the moment, and every game so far this season I've gone into, well, I was more confident on Saturday, I'll be honest, against Huddersfield because of the 2 new signings came in. But most games this season and moving into even West Brom next week, there's no Middlesbrough fan listening to this now can tell me they're confident going to West Brom that we're going to turn them over. Because if you are, you're just, you're deluding yourself. You really are.
We've got a couple more Facebook messages. Mohammed, I lost interest, sadly, since we sold Akpom. Mark Stevens.
Hang on, stop that. You lost interest.
That's what he says, yeah.
Don't bother following them again. Carry on.
Again, it's, obviously we like your opinion, sentiment.
No matter what you think
opinion, sorry. Yeah, I personally, I can't understand that, but up to you, Mohammed. And Mark Stevenson, I just can't... Just delete that off a sec. Technical problems, 2 seconds. I just can't see more than 2 more people arriving before the end of the window. I think the talk of 4 to 5 is just not going to happen. So thank you, Mark, for your comment.
Cheers, Rocket. You just absolutely put a downer on that. Last one before I ask you man of the matches, right? How did Silvera miss that chance? How?
Well, it's going to be a long show if we start thinking about that. Simple answer, no idea.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I would put it under he's trying too hard. I think he done the same at Coventry. I think he's a young player who's coming here to try and make a name for himself. He's got lots of talent. I like him. I think he's a real good he could really be a decent player. He needs to settle himself down. And the chance he missed at Coventry, he snatched at it. He could have just put it in the top corner. He snatched at it. The chance against Huddersfield that came to him, bit composure, hit the target. It's a goal. He tries to take the net off, lashes it over the bar. And then after that, against Huddersfield, he gets put through again, late on, in front of the North Stand. And he's got to go across goal, or he's got to take the ball with him and run across goal and see if he can slot the ball past the goalkeeper. And again, he's just trying too hard, panics, slashes it into the North Stand, complete nightmare. And as I say, for me, he looks like a player that just needs an arm round him. Calm down, it'll come. Settle yourself down. Maybe sit on the bench at West Brom and come off the bench, see if he can change it.
Right, man of the match.
Man of the match for me, I'm going to go. I've already told you. Johnny Howson for me, Rolls Royce.
Shock on it.
Top player.
Diggo.
I'll go for his sparring partner, Hayden Hackney. Both good shouts for man of the match on the day, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm going to go Hayden Hackney. I think he was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, to be fair. He was top quality for me.
Yeah. Right, there you go. That's Huddersfield. Sorry, done.
Now, we've talked a lot about transfers there.
We have.
So we've compiled a bit of a list with players that the press have linked us with. And there's one link that fans have linked us with. So first of all, we'll go with what we've seen in the press. And we'll have yes or no answers on these players, because we need to move on. So Glenn Kamara from Rangers. Stay yes or no?
Yeah.
Dicko?
I wouldn't be upset with it. I think he offers something that we'll probably need in the midfield, yeah.
Yep, I'd take him as well. Ross Stewart, Sunderland.
If we can keep him fit, absolutely.
Dicko?
Depending on the price, if we can get him for under £5 million, he's different to what we've got. He's a presence. He can hold the ball up. He's a goal scorer. He's quick. I would take him all day long if he's fit.
I like him as a player. The concern for me is his Achilles injury, but I'm going to give that a yes. So, same club, different player. Alex Pritchard, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
No for me as well.
Yeah, you dinosaurs.
He's a good one for you. Steve sent us this. Arno Vershurian. Defensive midfielder, apparently.
I can't even say his name.
Arno.
I'm going to say no, because if I have to try and say that name every week, I'm going to fail big time.
Dicko?
I don't know anything about him other than trying to find out desperately something about him. Their supporters, it's Sparta Rotterdam, isn't it? Is that they rate him highly. They think he's worth £4 or £5 million. I've seen that Middlesbrough have offered 1.8, and they tend to rate him. Also, interestingly enough, apparently he can play as a 10, and he does get a lot of goals from midfield when he plays as a 10. He's a strong player apparently as well, very strong. So, going off what I've heard about him, I would say no problem taking somebody in of that quality. But I'm not going to sit here on this podcast and say I know anything about him because I've never seen him play.
Yeah, I don't know now about me, so I'm going to say I'm going to trust the scouting staff. But these are the best yes or no answers I've ever heard. Let's move on. Josh Brownhill, Burnley, yes or no?
Yeah.
I'll just go yes to help you.
Yes. And last one, Flynn Downs, West Ham, who's at Swansea, yes or no?
Yeah.
Don't know a lot about him.
I'll say yes as well then. Right, so this is going to be a contentious one. So
please bear in mind we've only got 11 minutes left. But come on.
We'd love to know the views of the listeners as well on this.
Oh God.
So this is a fans link, not a press link.
Oh God.
Obviously, after the news came out this afternoon about Mason Greenwood at Manchester United, there's been pictures of him in training with Carrick, and obviously fans have put 2 to 2 together and come up with 5. Mason Greenwood.
No.
You wouldn't take
No. I can't say on LAY. No.
Dicko.
100% no. I've got a daughter, and no.
What's the response
no.
size? There you go.
Well, it's interesting because the Facebook page is just full of no's at the moment. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, right? he's been proven innocent, or he hasn't been charged, or whatever. What is that? What happened? He didn't get charged.
Didn't get charged, but them recordings are very.
I know they are. The brutal. I totally agree with you.
Hmm.
How old is he? This is no excuse. I'm not. I'm just solely playing devil's advocate.
2021.
So, although he knew what he was doing, he's still a young lad. Okay. Personally, it'd be a no.
Right.
And that's it. Dead air. You know, personally, it'd be a no. But it was a fans link. There's a lot of fans that I've seen today that would obviously take him. There'll be clubs in the Premier League. The lad's got undoubted ability as a footballer.
Father was
other things off the field. Okay.
But the last thing Middlesbrough want again is another PR own goal.
Aye.
And with the greatest of respect in the world, it's not a good look for Middlesbrough Football Club. It's not a good look for Steve Gibson. It smacks of desperation. I understand the link with Michael Carrick, knowing him when he was there, and undoubtedly he's a talented footballer, and undoubtedly if he's fit, he would enhance any championship club. I think the lad needs to go abroad and rebuild his life.
Jason, unfortunately, I'm not reading that out.
He's right, though.
Jamie, Greenwood is a player outstanding, but there's too much baggage, not just the recent incident, but also issues with England. Now, there was one, wasn't there, with Foden as well?
Yeah.
When he was away with England, that he didn't get picked after that. So, okay, it was a link that was in there. We've talked about it, and now we can move on.
Yes, let's move on. Yes, Greenwood will go abroad, best all round, absolutely. He'll end up with Turkey. That's why he'll end up. Simple as that. Right, West Brom. It's a big game, this one. All of a sudden, it feels a big game because West Brom haven't started terribly for me. They've got some good players. I had a little look at them on Friday night against the Leeds. They're all right. What kind of approach, Coach, would you want us to take to this one?
What kind of approach?
Yeah.
Same as approach for every game, positive. The players, and they won't change under Carrick. We're going to be positive. We're going to go there. We're going to try and impose our style of football, attacking football on the pitch. Whether that happens or not, obviously, they're going to try and stop us from doing that. It's whether we can get our football from last season going again. It's been missing now, the start of the season, at the end of last season. But it'll come. I have full confidence it'll come. Because let's hope it starts on Saturday.
Hope so. Because there is a reason why I asked that. It wasn't me just going, right, we've got to sit back and try and get a point from it. Because we tried that last year, didn't we? We went at them and they picked us off twice.
It's going to be a tough game. They've still got some very decent players. I mean, I haven't looked at the starting 11. Is Mount even on the bench? Is he starting any games, or does anyone know?
No, he's not.
He's on the bench, isn't he? On the bench.
Because he's a player I'd have back all day long, to be fair.
I was just going to get the team up from Friday night because their team was good Friday night, and I thought they played really well as well.
They've got some great players, and how Middlesbrough set up against West Brom, we've got to be cautious. For me, we can't go there and be gung ho. We done that last year. They picked them off in 2 or 3 minutes, scored 2 quick goals, and the game was dead. They've got Thomas Asante up front, who's a top player.
He's a talent, yeah.
He's a talent. He's flagged by Jed Wallace, who we all know from his Millwall days.
Yeah, and John Swift.
John Swift, who's a quality player. They've got top pros like Matt Phillips, who's still a decent player. We'll have to be on our game, and I think Middlesbrough on Saturday need to go there, man up, roll the sleeves up, keep themselves in the game, and then hopefully settle the crowd down, and then try and grow into the game and let our quality players, we're attacking players, whether it be Rodgers, hopefully McGree, Latiolaf, Marcus Force, let them get on the ball and try and create something. But for me on Saturday, I don't know if Middlesbrough have got it in them at the moment, squad-wise, to do that. Like, people are, listening, are concerned about Middlesbrough's back four defensive unit. We need to be strong on Saturday. And if we are strong on Saturday, we might just get something out of the game.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, because I was literally just going to say, you stole me thunder there. Have we got the players to go there, like, I don't know, under a Warwick style of management, okay, let's say, and say, I tell you what, I'm going to put Diggers in there. We're going to get stuck in. I'll be happy with a point. We'll get on the bus. We'll go home. I don't see that happening under Carrick. I really don't, and I don't think we've got the players to do it, Steve.
That won't happen, and it can't happen. Michael Carrick doesn't play that way. But what we have got in our Arsenal is, you know, if he brings back Paddy McNair, and we've got Dale Fry, and we've got Darragh Lenihan and Engel, and we've got Hayden Hackney and Johnny Howson. We've got players there to start the game solid and stay solid and grow into the game. Then,
so by that, I take it you mean McNair in midfield with Howson and Hackney?
No, I'd put McNair in at right back instead of Vandenberg.
Right.
I think he offers more. I think he's more comfortable there. I'm not his biggest fan, but I think he looks more comfortable than Vandenberg there. For me, Vandenberg, he done a job on Saturday, but away from home against Jed Wallace, John Swift, Asante, Matt Phillips, I think they'll be all over him like a cheap suit. I think we need to try and set up with senior players on the pitch, with leaders on the pitch, and I class Paddy McNair as one of those with a bit of nous. He plays full back for Ireland. Let's start off solid, keep ourselves in the game, and then grow into the game, settle the crowd down, and then can we cause them problems? Well, yes, we can, because we've seen what Middlesbrough can do in the final third, and now we've got Latte Laugh. Hopefully, we've got somebody that'll stick the ball in the back of the net. But it's going to be an extremely tough game.
No, it is. It's going to be a really tough game. It's for me, West Brom will be up there this season. I really do think that they've got a decent squad. So
good manager,
very good manager. I say Carlos Corberán is a very good manager.
They try to play the same way as we do, by the way. So maybe that might help a little bit, because Carlos Corberán, what he will do is do what Michael Carrick does, decide, get on the ball, pass, try and create, try and score. So it should be a good game to watch on Saturday, if nothing else.
It's interesting you mentioned that about they want to play like us, because I'm sure I've seen an interview with Alex Mowat that he'd either done with the local press or the Gazette, where he said that Corberán showed them videos of us last season and said, this is how we want you to play. I'm sure it was either the Gazette or one of their local players down there.
Wow.
So
there you go. Influencing the future already. Young Michael Carrick, fair play, the guy. But right, we've only got a couple minutes left, so this is where you're going to take over. You obviously run the.
I will, yeah. Again, another.
No one had Hackney and 1-1 on Saturday.
So it's another 0. We're absolutely flying with our charity money. So I know
it's great, isn't it?
West Brom versus Middlesbrough Saturday. So obviously John Donovan sent in, and he's going for Latte Laugh 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go for Darragh Lenihan, first goal scorer, 2-1 to Middlesbrough.
Ooh.
Steve, you've put yours in already. Also Latte Laugh for a goal, and 2-1 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting on Diclo here for a 0-2.
I can't pick Middlesbrough to lose, because it's just not in my DNA, and I think it's a real tough game. So I'm going to go with me heart rather than me head, and I'm going to say 2-1 Middlesbrough, a shock 3 points, and the first goal scorer is going to be Riley McGree.
I mean, we're not going to put it on, but what does your head say?
My head thinks it's going to be a long 90 minutes, and I'll be delighted to get anything from the game. But
I'll be
football's a funny old game. We've had games this season where we thought we were going to get points from, it's like against Millwall, Huddersfield, and it hasn't happened. Let's hope Middlesbrough go down to the Hawthorns and we do to them what teams have done to us, and we nick it and get a big 3 points.
That's it.
Tony Johnson's gone for a 2-2.
Desmond. Aye.
Go on, Tony, quickly, if you can. Give us a first goal scorer, and that'll be our fourth one we put on this week. So get it in quick, and we'll put it on. Because we've only got 3.
No, we've got JD's as well, so this will be the 5th.
Oh, sorry.
4 + 1 is 5, Stephen. Oh, yeah.
Well, you just said 2 + 2 is 5, so we'll keep going. But yeah, maybe you don't have to send one. It's fine. But sorry. That's it. We're done. All finished. There you go. That laugh. Write it down. Thanks, Tony.
We'll stick it on for you, Tony.
Yeah, we'll stick it on. Hopefully, we'll get some money for charity. But yeah, that's it. Done for another week. Hope everybody has a good week doing whatever they're doing. Cuts, I'll see you Saturday.
You will indeed.
Yes. 2-1 Rodgers. 1-0. Who's Bourne?
Coburn.
Josh Coburn.
1-0.
That does
Coburn
not say Colburn. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Anyway, Dicko, have a good week. We'll catch
Thanks,
up
boys.
really soon. And yeah, I'll leave you with this. And up the borough. Be seeing you. Pray we do all right at the weekend.
Up the borough.
Up the borough.
Up the borough, boys. Thank you for listening to the 12th Man podcast. Hope to see you all again next week. Up the borough.